Hello friends and welcome back to Utpal Chess. So we'll see this game between Denis Khismatullin versus Magnus Carlsen. This is the second round of Rapid Open Samarkand, Uzbekistan in 2023. So let's see the game. White starts with d4. Denis Khismatullin starts with d4, and then Magnus Carlsen plays knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, and c6. So we have this semi-Slav defense on the board. e3, knight b d7. So this is a typical setup, you can say. Queen c2, b6, c cross d5, and then c cross d5, knight b5. Yes, so the white would like to come on c7 and give a fork. Okay, so this is a threat. Magnus has to do something. And yes, bishop b4 was played, bishop d2, bishop cross d2, knight cross d2, and then castle. So in case if white plays this knight c7 now, Carlsen can just move the rook. There is no issue now. So bishop e2 and then bishop a6. So this is the bad bishop. Okay, Carlsen says yes, let's exchange this with something. And then once this bishop is gone, uh, you have no issue then. Okay, black has no problem then. And that's the plan, just to exchange one of the piece. Castle, bishop cross b5, bishop cross b5, and then a6 attacks this bishop. Bishop has to capture or move back. He captured. Bishop cross d7, queen cross d7, and then rook fc1. So white has controlled the open file. Rook fc8, Carlsen has challenged that, and then queen d1. Okay, so just kept the queen on the first rank, so it can give support to this rook on c1. Queen b5. So Magnus made attack on b2, control this diagonal, and then white plays a rook c2. So he would like to make double rook and then giving threat to this one, the c8 rook. So what to do? Yes, so Magnus says, yeah, the knight I'll shift from this side to this, and then it can give support, and then there'll be no problem. So here, white plays knight f3. Okay, here rook a c1 was a normal move. White should have played that, but he goes for this knight f3 move, and then Carlsen captures this one. So rook cross c2, queen cross c2, and now knight d6. The idea is simple. Rook c8. Here, white made attack on the queen a4 and then queen e8. Okay, if you go queen d7, then knight e5 is coming, so it's not that good. Queen c7, white attacks these two things. So somehow you have to save it. Carlsen goes queen d8. So rook c1. Okay, Carlsen says, yes, I would like to exchange pieces as I'm okay to play the endgame. And white says, yes, I'm also okay, no problem. But for that, you have to exchange, and then my rook will come forward, and then I'm okay. Yeah. So he wants something out of the exchanges. And Carlsen says, okay, I'm not having any issue. So queen cross c7, rook cross c7, rook c8. Yes. So now he has to take, or he has to yeah, this is the only option, because if you go rook c3, then it's not that good as rook cross c3, b cross c3, and then knight d4. And after that, this pawn cannot be protected. So that's why the only option you can say now rook cross c8, because if you go on the other side, then this rook c1 check and mate is coming up. So you don't want that. and that's why rook c8 he has captured, knight cross c8, and then knight d5. So f6 attacks this knight, knight d3, and now king f7. Carlsen has started his king's march towards the center. As you can see, the endgame has approached already. So king f1, and then king e7, king e2, king d6. Both are getting the kings ahead, ready to move the pawns and control important squares in the center. You can say f4, control e5, and then a5, stopping b4, you can say. Or if he plays, then yeah, he can do that, but it's okay now. Here g4 was played, and then king c6. So Carlsen is preparing for b5, you can say. h4, and then knight d6. Yes, so he made space for the knight as well while moving this. And then h5. h5 was played. H6. So he doesn't, Carlsen didn't go for g6. Instead, h6 stopping g5. So Carlsen has a plan now to move the knight, and maybe if he gets the chance, then attack on this. So b3, king d7, and then knight f2. F5, okay, stopping this and attacking attacks this pawn on g4. So g5, okay. Here he plays a king c6. Yeah, black. Carlsen plays king c6, and then knight d3, knight e4. Okay, if you go here, I am also coming to attack on your other pawns from here, like knight g3, and yeah, it will be a fork. So this is the threat now. Knight e5 check, king d6, and then g cross h6, g cross h6, king d3. So now the check is not there at least, but still Carlsen made attack on this h5 pawn, which is now very weak and cannot be saved. So king c3, and then knight cross h5, b4. So he would like to exchange on this side so that he can create a pass pawn maybe. Okay, like if he capture, and then attack, and then like this. But of course, Carlsen will not allow. So knight g3. Here, b cross a5, b cross a5, king d3. H5. So Carlsen has already started moving this pawn ahead, and is ready to get the queen. Yes, so white has stopped it over here at least for some time. So knight g6, knight e4. The plan is, of course, to somehow come over here. Like you cannot go here. So if the king moves somewhere, and if he gets the chance, maybe then you can play like this. Yeah, so that's the plan. You can say king c2. Here, knight f6, king c3, and then knight d7. So knight is moving all around. He is now threatening this side. So knight h4, stop this, and knight b6 now. Yes, attacks this, king b3, and now knight c4. Suddenly there is attack over here. He has to move the knight. Knight g2 gives support, but then this check, and knight d2 check, king c3, and after knight f3. Yes, this pawn is unstoppable. You cannot stop this pawn. So here, white resign. Okay, so if you play over here king c2 or king d3, whatever you would play, h4 is coming. If you take it, of course, a knight, you will lose the knight and the game. So not good. What else can you do other than that? If you try to reach with the king, then h3, and then the knight is attacked. So maybe king cross f3, but then he doesn't take it. He just plays this h2, and here you can't stop it. So king f2, h1 queen, and this is winning. Okay, whatever you would do, it's not going to stop. That's the problem over here. So after king e2, h3, if the knight moves anywhere, where can you move? See, the knight can't move. That's the problem, another problem. If you play here, it's free. You can even play this. Other than that, if you go on this side, you can take it and then make the queen, no issue. So Yeah, knight cross e1, king cross e1, and then h2. Yes, and that's how Magnus Carlsen won the game.